Centuries ago, humanity had built a warship unlike any other. It was called the Aegis, a massive machine designed to face enemies that Earth had never met. The ship was meant to be the ultimate protector of humans, equipped with weapons, shields, and technology far beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. But as time passed, humanity's leaders believed there would be no war. They abandoned the project, leaving the ship floating in orbit above the blue planet, hidden in silence. Now, centuries later, the galaxy had changed. Humans had spread across the stars, building colonies on distant planets. They had traded with friendly species and learned to navigate the vast universe. But danger loomed. A powerful alien empire, called the Empire of Tenebris, was moving across human colonies like a storm. Their fleets were enormous, their weapons deadly, and their will unstoppable. Every report from the outer colonies brought fear. Humans were strong, but they had never faced an enemy like this. Captain Leora Kane stood on the bridge of her small scout ship, watching the stars streak past. She had been sent to survey a derelict station orbiting an abandoned planet. Reports said it was empty, just a forgotten relic of human expansion. But something unusual had appeared on the sensors, a faint signal, pulsing with a rhythm that almost seemed intelligent. "What do you make of this, Jin?" Kane asked her first officer, a calm and careful man named Jin Wei. Jin stared at the readings. "It doesn't match any known human system," he said. "It's old. Very old. But it's definitely artificial." Kane's heart beat faster. "Artificial and alive?" "I think it's waiting," Jin said, uncertain. The scout ship approached the source of the signal. At first it looked like a cloud of metal and dust floating in the blackness of space. But as they drew closer, the outline became clear. It was enormous, larger than any human ship currently in service, and its design was strange. Angular yet smooth, powerful yet elegant. "That can't be," Kane whispered. "This ship was never finished. It's supposed to be just a prototype." The ship's systems blinked to life as if it had been waiting for them. A soft glow illuminated the bridge of Kane's ship, and a voice calm and deep filled the cabin. "Welcome, descendants of Earth. I am Aegis. You are authorized to command me." Kane froze. Her mind raced. The Aegis? Impossible. That ship was a legend, a story told to children about a time when humans prepared for wars that never came. "Did it just speak?" Jin asked, his voice a mixture of awe and fear. "Yes," Kane replied, "and it knows who we are." The Aegis slowly rotated in orbit, revealing its full size. Its weapons were hidden, but its scale was intimidating. The AI spoke again, this time with a hint of pride. "I am the guardian of humanity. I await those who can guide me to protect our species. Are you prepared?" Kane swallowed hard. She glanced at her crew, then back at the massive ship. We are ready," she said, trying to steady her voice. The AI hummed, and lights on the ship flared. Connection established, initiating guidance systems, preparing for deployment. For the first time in centuries, the Aegis moved under human command. Kane and her crew floated inside the ship's airlock, amazed by the vast interior. Hallways stretched in all directions, lined with panels that lit up at their touch. The ship seemed alive, reacting to their thoughts and movements. "This is beyond anything we've ever seen," Jin said, stepping carefully. "It's beautiful." Kane nodded, walking toward the central control chamber. "And deadly," she added, thinking of the approaching Empire fleet. Humanity had been lucky for centuries, but luck alone would not protect them now. Suddenly, the sensors beeped urgently. The Empire's scouts had detected the Aegis. Their communications were filled with alarm. The alien voices were harsh, commanding, but Kane barely understood the words. One thing was clear. The Empire did not expect humanity to have such a weapon. Kane's hands trembled slightly as she placed them on the control panel. The AI spoke softly in her mind, guiding her. "Do not fear. I am your strength. Together, we will protect your species." She drew a deep breath and nodded. Then let's show them what humans are capable of. Outside, the stars shimmered, and the silent giant of humanity stirred after centuries of slumber. The galaxy would soon see a power it had never imagined, and the story of Earth's abandoned prototype was about to begin. The Aegis hummed with quiet power as Captain Kane and her team explored the ship. Every corridor they walked through seemed alive, as if the walls themselves were aware of their presence. Lights shifted to guide their steps, panels flickered to life at their touch, and soft mechanical sounds echoed like a heartbeat. For centuries, the ship had waited silently in orbit, abandoned by humans but not forgotten. Now it had awakened. Jinwei and the crew gathered around the main control chamber. It was vast, filled with panels, holographic displays, and controls that no human had ever used before. Kane stepped forward, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing on her shoulders. "This is incredible," Jin whispered, his eyes scanning the holographic interface. "It's unlike anything in our fleet." Kane nodded. "We need to understand it quickly. The Empire is approaching. They won't wait for us to figure this out." The ship's AI, Aegis, spoke again, its calm voice filling the chamber. "Do not be afraid. I am designed to adapt to human command. You will learn how to control me faster than any manual could teach." Kane hesitated for a moment, then placed her hands on the main console. A warm light spread over her palms, and instantly, she could feel the ship responding to her thoughts. It was like nothing she had experienced before. Every function, every weapon, every shield responding to her commands almost before she thought them. "This is incredible," Kane said, awe in her voice. "It understands me." "Yes," Aegis replied. "Together we will protect humanity. I am the weapon that was never meant to be forgotten." While Kane and her team trained under the AI's guidance, the Empire fleet drew closer. Thousands of alien ships filled the sensors, their sharp designs glinting coldly in the darkness of space. They moved with precision, expecting minimal resistance. Humanity's colonies had been weak, scattered, and easy to intimidate. The Empire believed the same would be true for this system. On the bridge, Kane watched the approaching fleet. Her heart raced, but she felt a strange sense of calm. With the Aegis, humans had a chance. More than a chance. They had a weapon that no one else could match. "Captain," Jin said, pointing to the display. "They're scanning the system. They know something is here." "Good," Kane said, her voice steady. "Let them see what we're made of." The Aegis shifted in orbit, moving with silent grace despite its enormous size. Its weapons remained hidden for now, but the AI began activating defensive shields, energy converters, and targeting systems. Kane could feel the ship's power coursing through her, a connection she had never imagined. Then the first strike came. The Empire fired long-range pulses toward the Aegis, expecting to damage a stationary target. But the pulses simply disappeared against the ship's shields, absorbed and redirected harmlessly into space. "Shields are holding," Kane said, her confidence growing. "We're ready." The Aegis hummed in approval. "Weapons are primed, targeting protocols online. When you command, destruction will follow." Kane took a deep breath. She did not want destruction. She wanted protection. But the Empire had left her no choice. Humanity's colonies were at stake. "Show me what you can do," she whispered. Instantly, the Aegis responded. Hidden panels slid open, revealing energy cannons far larger than anything in the human fleet. Drones lifted from storage bays, moving with swift, precise motion. The AI guided Kane, helping her aim, calculate trajectories, and anticipate the enemy's movements. The Empire fleet did not know what hit them. Pulses of concentrated energy tore through their ships, shields collapsing, hulls shattering. The drones darted among them, striking at weak points the aliens didn't even know existed. Every move Kane made was amplified by the ship, turning human ingenuity into unstoppable force. From her scout ship, Kane could see the chaos unfolding. Aliens screamed commands, but their technology could not keep up with the unpredictability of humans combined with the Aegis. Entire squadrons of fighters were destroyed in moments, and the fleet's formation began to falter. "This is just the beginning," Kane said, her voice firm. "We have to keep going." Jin smiled, a mixture of fear and excitement in his eyes. "I never thought I'd see this day. Humanity. We might actually survive this war." Kane's eyes focused on the stars beyond the battle. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. Colonies had fallen, scouts had disappeared, and leaders had feared the galaxy. But now with the Aegis, humanity had awakened. Not just a ship, not just technology, but proof that humans could rise above any threat. "Prepare for the main fleet," Kane ordered. "We're going to make sure the Empire remembers who we are." The Aegis responded, ready for anything. Its hum grew louder, its lights brighter, and its presence filled the void of space. Humanity had found its champion, and the galaxy would soon learn that Earth's abandoned giant was not forgotten. It was waiting for the right moment to show the universe the true power of humans. The Empire fleet had underestimated humanity, and now they would pay the price. Captain Kane stood on the bridge of the Aegis, her hands steady on the controls, her mind fully connected to the ship. Every sensor, every weapon, every defensive system flowed through her thoughts as though the ship itself was an extension of her body. "Captain," Jinwei called, pointing at the screens. "They're moving faster than we expected. The main fleet is closing in." Kane's eyes narrowed. "Let them come. We're ready." The Aegis shifted in orbit, revealing its full power. Massive energy cannons emerged, their surfaces glowing with concentrated power. Drones lifted from hidden bays, swarming around the ship like living stars. Shields flared to maximum, creating a glowing barrier that shimmered under the incoming fire. The Empire struck first. Massive warships unleashed volleys of energy, attempting to pierce the Aegis's defenses. Explosions rippled through space, and the stars themselves seemed to tremble under the force. But the prototype ship was ready. Each pulse of energy was absorbed, redirected, or shattered by the Aegis's shields. "Shields holding at full capacity," Kane reported. "Weapons ready?" With a deep breath, she gave the command. "Fire!" Energy beams lanced through space, cutting through the Empire's formation like lightning. Enemy ships that had seemed untouchable were torn apart, their hulls crumbling under the precision of the Aegis. Drones darted between the wreckage, striking at weak points with pinpoint accuracy. The Empire's commanders were stunned. They had faced strong enemies before, but nothing like this. Human ships had always relied on clever tactics, but this was beyond comprehension. One prototype warship, abandoned for centuries, had become a force that could shatter an entire fleet. "Target the flagship," one alien voice bellowed over the comms. "Destroy it before it spreads destruction." Kane's lips curled into a small smile. "Already done," she said. A beam of concentrated energy struck the enemy flagship, piercing its shields and breaking its core. The massive vessel exploded in a brilliant flash, debris scattering across the void. The Empire faltered. Ships wavered, formations broke apart, and communication signals scrambled. They were organized, disciplined, and powerful, but the Aegis was faster, smarter, and utterly unpredictable. "Captain," Jin said, his voice filled with awe. "It's like the ship can think ahead of them. It knows where to strike before they even move." "Yes," Kane replied. "That's human ingenuity combined with technology they never imagined. We're showing them that humans are more than just another species in the galaxy." The battle continued. Aegis weaved through enemy lines, firing, dodging, and calculating at speeds no human or alien pilot could match. Entire squadrons of fighters were destroyed before they even reached striking distance. The Empire tried to adapt, to counterattack, but each move was anticipated, each strategy neutralized. From a distance, Kane could see colonies on nearby planets watching the battle. Their inhabitants had feared the Empire for generations. Now hope burned brightly in their eyes. Humanity had awakened a weapon of legend, and it was proving that humans could not be defeated by fear, numbers, or advanced technology. "Keep pushing forward," Kane ordered. "We'll break their formation and force them to retreat." The Aegis responded instantly. Its engines flared, accelerating the ship through the battlefield with impossible speed. Energy beams carved paths through enemy ships. Drones surrounded and disabled fighters, and shields deflected all attacks. The Empire had expected an easy conquest, but instead they faced the wrath of a species they had underestimated. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. By the end of the engagement, the Empire fleet was in chaos. Ships had been destroyed, Others fled in panic, and the once mighty armada now struggled to regroup. Humanity had not just survived, they had triumphed. Kane looked out at the field of debris, her heart swelling with pride. "This is what humans can do," she said softly. "Even against impossible odds we fight. Even when forgotten we rise," Jin nodded. "They won't forget this day. They'll know Earth is not defenseless." The Aegis hummed around them, its lights dimming slightly as if it were satisfied with the victory. But Kane knew this was only the beginning. The Empire would return, stronger and more determined than ever. Humanity had won the first clash, but the galaxy was far from safe. "Prepare the systems for repairs and resupply," Kane ordered. "We'll need to be ready when they come back. And this time we'll be ready for more." As the Aegis drifted in orbit, the stars glittered in silent approval. Humanity had awakened a giant, and the galaxy would soon learn that no empire, no matter how vast, could underestimate the courage, ingenuity, and resolve of humans. Captain Kane allowed herself a small smile. The battle was won, but the war for humanity's future had only begun. And with the Aegis, they had a weapon and a symbol that could change the fate of the stars forever. The remnants of the Empire fleet had retreated, but Captain Kane knew this victory was only temporary. The aliens were smart, ruthless, and they would not give up easily. Humanity had survived this encounter, but the war for the galaxy was just beginning. Kane and her crew worked quickly aboard the Aegis. Repairs were made, weapon systems calibrated, and shields reinforced. The AI guided them through every process, predicting potential weaknesses before they appeared. Every step made Kane realize the truth. This was not just a ship, it was a partner, a thinking guardian built for humanity's survival. "Captain," Jin said, looking at the holographic map, "they're trying to regroup in the Zorath cluster. If we strike there, we could catch them off guard." Kane nodded. "Exactly. But we won't just attack, we'll outthink them. The Empire relies on their numbers and formation. Humans rely on ingenuity." The plan was simple but bold. Instead of charging head-on into the enemy fleet, Kane would split the Aegis's energy drones into multiple waves. Each wave would appear from a different direction, creating confusion. They would target key ships first, the command vessels and supply carriers, forcing the Empire to react in chaos rather than in control. As they approached the Zorath cluster, Kane could see the enemy gathering in tight formations, confident that they had learned nothing from the previous battle. The Empire's commanders believed their numbers and experience would overwhelm humans. They did not know that one human mind, paired with a century-old warship, could outthink an entire fleet. "Deploy the first wave," Kane ordered. The drones sprang from the Aegis, disappearing into the void. Each one moved with precise speed, heading for the enemy command ships. Energy pulses followed in perfect timing, hitting the fleet before they could respond. The Empire faltered. Ships collided, shields overloaded, and communication channels buzzed with confusion. Kane watched the chaos with calm eyes. "Now the second wave," she commanded. Another set of drones leapt forward, this time targeting supply ships and repair stations. Without supplies, the Empire's fleet would be forced to retreat or collapse. "This is incredible," Jin said. "They don't know what's happening until it's too late." Kane smiled. "That's human strategy. We don't rely on sheer force alone. We use intelligence, creativity, and timing." The Aegis itself remained at a distance, almost like a silent giant observing the battlefield. Its shields flared in response to incoming attacks, and when necessary, it launched precise strikes to protect the drones. Every movement was calculated, every decision guided by Kane's instincts and the AI's predictions. Hours passed, and the Empire fleet's formations were in shambles. Ships retreated in panic, leaving valuable positions undefended. Human colonies watched the battle unfold from orbiting stations, their fear turning into awe and hope. Humanity was proving that even a small force, guided by intelligence and courage, could triumph over an empire. Kane knew the importance of timing. "Hold back the final strike," she instructed. "Let them think they might recover. Then we finish this." The Empire tried to regroup, sending squadrons to intercept the Aegis, but Kane anticipated each move. She used the ship's speed and drones to cut off reinforcements, turning their own tactics against them. Every attempt to repair or reorganize was met with human ingenuity and precision. Finally, Kane gave the command. "Execute the final wave." Energy beams, drones, and precise strikes hit simultaneously. Key command ships exploded, supply lines were destroyed, and the remaining Empire vessels scattered into deep space. The victory was complete, not just because of power, but because humans had outthought an enemy that believed only in strength. Kane leaned back, watching the remnants of the fleet disappear. "They won't forget this day," she said quietly. "They'll know humans are clever, resilient, and unstoppable when we work together." Jin smiled. "And our colonies will know too. We've given them hope. They've seen that humans can rise even against impossible odds." The Aegis glowed softly, almost as if it were satisfied. Kane placed a hand on the console. "You were waiting for this, weren't you?" she asked the AI. "I was waiting for someone worthy," the ship replied. "Someone who understands that strength alone does not win battles. Wisdom, strategy, and courage define true victory. You are worthy, Captain Kane." For the first time in centuries, the abandoned warship felt alive, not just as a weapon, but as a symbol. Humanity had not only survived, it had proven that its ingenuity and determination could defeat an empire. Kane gazed at the stars. "This is just the beginning," she said. "The galaxy will know humanity is not weak. They will know we rise and we do not forget. We adapt, we fight, and we survive." As the Aegis drifted through space, Kane and her crew prepared for the next challenge. The Empire would return stronger and wiser, but so would humanity. And with the Aegis, they had the edge, the strategy, and the spirit to face any threat. Humanity was no longer just surviving, it was leading, shaping the fate of the stars. And the galaxy would never again underestimate the power of human creativity and courage. The Empire had retreated, but Captain Kane knew the galaxy had changed forever. Humanity was no longer a minor species, scattered across distant colonies and vulnerable to the threats of powerful aliens. With the Aegis at their side, humans had proven they could rise, outthink, and defeat an enemy that had seemed unstoppable. The Aegis hovered silently in orbit above a newly liberated planet. Its massive form reflected sunlight like a jewel, its weapons and shields ready for action, yet now dormant. Kane stood on the bridge, gazing at the vastness of space. She could see remnants of the defeated Empire fleet fleeing in disarray. Each ship carried messages of warning to their homeworlds. Humanity's reputation had grown in a single battle. "Captain," Jinwei said, leaning over a console, "we've received messages from nearby colonies. They're rallying. They want to join the effort to defend humanity." Kane smiled. "Then we have to show them the way. Humanity fights best when we work together." For decades, humans had survived against odds that seemed impossible. Now they would lead. Kane gave the order to open communication channels. Colony leaders responded with excitement, relief, and hope. They could feel the presence of the Aegis as a shield, a symbol of human strength. Humanity was no longer hiding, no longer afraid. The AI's voice echoed through the bridge. "Captain, the Empire may return, but humanity is prepared. Our combined strength, strategy, and courage make us unstoppable. We will defend our colonies and inspire others to rise." Kane nodded. "We've done more than defend. We've shown the galaxy who we are. Humans are not just survivors. We are innovators, fighters, and leaders." Across human space, colonies celebrated. Citizens looked to the sky and saw the faint glimmer of the Aegis. Stories of its power spread quickly, reminding every human of their potential. Fear was replaced by pride. The children of the colonies would grow up knowing that humans could rise above any threat, even one that seemed larger, stronger, or smarter. Kane addressed her crew. "We've proven something today, not just to the Empire, but to ourselves. Humanity can adapt, survive, and thrive. We are capable of greatness, and we must never forget it." Jin smiled, watching the AI systems hum softly. "It's amazing how a ship built centuries ago can remind us of what humans are capable of. We thought it was just a weapon, but it's more than that. It's a symbol." The Aegis itself seemed to respond, its lights pulsing gently as if it understood the importance of this moment. Humanity had awakened a forgotten giant, and in doing so, they had awakened their own potential. As days passed, Kane and her crew helped organize defenses, train pilots, and share strategies with other colonies. They created networks of communication, prepared plans for future threats, and ensured that humanity would never be caught off guard again. The Aegis was not just a warship, it was a teacher, a protector, and a reminder of what humans could achieve when they believed in themselves. The Empire, humbled and cautious, began to spread reports of the humans' unexpected power. Other species in the galaxy took notice. Diplomats approached humans, eager to understand the source of their sudden strength. Humans were no longer an unknown or underestimated species. They had proven that courage, creativity, and intelligence could challenge even the most powerful forces. One evening, Kane stood alone on the bridge, staring at a distant star. "We've done more than win a battle," she said softly. "We've inspired hope not just in ourselves but across the galaxy. And that is something no empire can take away." The Aegis hummed around her, a gentle vibration of power and reassurance. Kane smiled, knowing that the ship had waited for this moment for centuries. Humanity had not wasted it. With the galaxy watching, humans began to reclaim control of nearby systems. Colonies once abandoned or threatened were now safe. The Empire learned caution, and other civilizations recognized the cleverness and resilience of humans. Humanity had become a beacon, a species that could rise above fear, adversity, and the expectations of others. Kane turned to her crew. "This is only the beginning. We will face challenges, yes, but now we know our potential. We have the Aegis, we have each other, and we have the spirit of humanity guiding us forward." The crew nodded, their faces glowing with pride. Across the stars, humans looked up and realized that they were not small, powerless, or forgotten. They were strong, creative, and unstoppable when united. The Aegis slowly rotated in orbit, its massive shadow stretching across the planet below. It was a reminder that even forgotten creations could rise, and that humanity too could awaken greatness when the time was right. Captain Kane placed her hand on the console. "We've done what we were meant to do. Humanity has risen and the galaxy will never forget us. We fight, we adapt, and we endure. That is who we are." The stars shimmered in response, silent witnesses to a new era. Humanity's dawn had arrived, not through luck, or chance, or numbers, but through courage, ingenuity, and the unbreakable spirit of a species that refused to be forgotten. And across the galaxy, the story spread. Earth's abandoned prototype warship had crushed an empire, and in doing so, reminded everyone that humanity would always rise, no matter the odds.